Hello? Anybody here? Anybody hears me? I'm trying to fix the problem. I don't know why I cannot connect via the planned event. Does anybody hear me? Is there a sound? Hello? Hello? Yes, apparently now there is a sound. Anybody here? Please, somebody let me know if you hear me, because I see myself. And apparently the sound is also here. Anybody? Oh my God, I don't understand I understand there's a Mercury retrograde, but it's insane. I created the event, but when I open the Google Hangout, there is no button to press on. There is no button, start live streaming. No button. Somebody, please. Hears me? Yes, I hear myself. So, okay, because it would be pity, you know, not to talk about the full moon in English. Well, I don't know. Anybody here? Or I don't know. I will share with you the text that I prepared, but it's a pity that. Okay, I will see. Let's see. And now I don't have the document. What's this? God. And I lost the document. I don't know what's going on. No, there is no way. I don't even have a document. Everything disappeared. No. Oh, I found it. God. Okay. Okay, 2 people. Please, guys, let me know if you hear me, if you see me, because I found the document. Apparently the sound works, so I will share with you the information. All right, because it's like impossible. So you see the full moon and the Mercury retrograde. This is just crazy. Now, I will share the information with you because I prepared the document. It would be pity to lose it. Okay, maybe somebody will join the live streaming in another format. So today, one day before the full moon, we have 2 very harmonious exact aspects. Today we have Mercury retrograde in sextile with the Saturn. So I mentioned this aspect the last time, 2 weeks ago, when I was talking about the new moon 2 weeks ago. Okay, the sextile of Mercury and Saturn allows us to analyze the situation and, you know, in the Saturnian way, and to analyze the errors also. We can settle down controversial issues. We can influence the other side and convince the opponent. At the same day, today, March 20, Mars is in trine with the Pluto, and this day gives us a lot of very specific energy. We can go for fairly, you know, firm and decisive actions in areas of our interest, in areas that interest us. And we have the ability to mobilize inner resources to perform complex tasks complex tasks, both at work and in personal relationships. So today we have these intense energies, and anybody here, please let me know if somebody has like, just leave me a comment if you hear me, but apparently you hear me because I hear myself. So the particularity of this of the upcoming 24 hours is that in a couple of hours, actually, the sun will enter Aries at 5:58 New York or Montreal time, Eastern Standard Time. And the ingression of the sun into Aries will mark the beginning of a new astronomical year. And this is actually the spring equinox, right? Happy New Year. And happy birthday to all Arieses. The transit of the sun from the sign of Aries will actively encourage us to set goals for the future, to manifest and express our will clearly. So therefore, during the last week of March, it's important that we all plan our future boldly, but not in a chaotic manner, with a clear awareness of goals and values, of our goals and values. The sun Aries will literally ignite many of us with new goals and achievements, and the path to the goals and achievements, however, may be long and thorny. That's why we should not be harsh and impulsive in trying to achieve everything in one fell swoop. So formulate your individual goals and progress for the new zodiacal year, please. So happy new year. Now, the full moon in the very first degree of Libra, the axis Libra Aquarius, March 20, 21:42 Montreal time, yes, 009 of Libra. So this full moon is relatively peaceful and calm, although its ruler Venus is an exact square with the mean, let's say, mean Mars. So that's why we may be a little bit too nervous. There will be nervousness in the air. So, but Venus at the same time, the ruler of the full moon, is supported by a powerful Jupiter. So everything will be okay in the end because Venus is in sextile with the Jupiter. So as any full moon, this is a moment of result or crisis. As for any full moon, I mean that the old problems previously ignored can come back in a complicated form. It is now time to understand the reasons that inhibit things and complicate our relationships. This full moon highlights the themes of relationships and of the cooperation. So some projects and businesses may experience a sudden end. And this period will reveal the hidden factors of the new moon of March 6th, that we lived 2 weeks ago. At the moment of the full moon, today, tomorrow, and even in 2 days, one day before the accurate aspect, one day after the accurate aspect, this will be the moment of the end of a cooperation, or maybe new conditions can be defined and necessary, needed to continue the cooperation. But we will have to review the conditions of our exchanges, interaction with others. We will have to look for compromise. So during the days close to the full moon, difficulties may arise in professional relationships and in communication, especially with the partners, with the women, female partners, with the women. We can expect to hear, a lot of criticism. We can confront opposition, hostile behavior from our partners, and contestation of our position by others, and our contestation of the position of the other person. So in the theme of this full moon, as I said, there are two exact aspects. One aspect is revealing the problem or problems, square Venus Mars, and the other aspect is helping sextile Venus Jupiter. Okay. Okay, 4 people, so somebody is watching me. Okay, I will continue. So this first aspect, square Venus Mars, of course, it occurs at the day of the full moon, and it's a moment of powerful, strong emotions and of internal stress due to the accumulated dissatisfaction. a period of intense passion and lively emotions, often not constructive. Jealousy and possessiveness can be a problem for us, you know, during the next 3 days. In romantic relationships, love partnerships, tensions are possible that even risk to escalate to a conflict, major conflict. So, however the situation can be and should be controlled, we have to take the role of a wise peacemaker, peacemaker, to be tolerant towards about the partner's weaknesses, because nobody is perfect, right? And we also must understand that we are so different, especially men and women, Mars and Venus. So, and this is what makes us attractive to each other. So the second aspect, Venus sextile Jupiter, will make any agreement easy. It will be easier for us to come up to any agreement on controversial issues. So you can even get involved. You can get involved into different discussions, in spite of the square Venus-Mars on the same day. You know, if it was not formed, the square Venus-Mars, the ideal. This would be the ideal day, actually. But even in this context, the Venusian manifestations, both material and sensual, will be very tasty. So this conflictual configuration, tense configuration, is ennobled by Jupiter, by the sextile Venus-Jupiter. These two aspects have very special weight because Venus is the ruler of the full moon, and Venus is involved in the both aspects, Venus square Mars and Venus sextile Jupiter. But in any case, I would like to mention something else about the square Venus-Mars, okay? The square Venus-Mars that will be formed on the almost at the same time with the position Sun-Moon, the full moon, will manifest the contradictions between desires and possibilities. This is the moment of the critical phase of the cycle Venus-Mars. Venus personifies, symbolizes, represents values, needs of comfort, our desires, our well-being, and Mars symbolizes the external objectives, strategies of our behavior. So the both principles come into conflictual interaction. And every 2 years, Venus and Mars begin their new cycle during the moment of their conjunction. So the previous conjunction Venus-Mars was formed on October 5th, 2017. And the next conjunction Venus-Mars, so the end of the current cycle, will be formed on August 25, 2019 of this year. So at the moment of the conjunction of these two planets, we develop new life scenarios in the corresponding areas. So, I mean, corresponding to the symbolism of the planets. So the aspect between Venus and Mars on March 21st, today and tomorrow, marks the last phase of the cycle. This phase which is crucial, critical. So we are transiting to the last phase of the cycle of Venus-Mars, which is critical. So the two planets are in confrontation. They're in conflict, not in confrontation. It's not in opposition. So what should we do during the square Venus-Mars? We will have to summarize how we directed our energy outward in the past, since the beginning of the cycle in 2017, to meet our needs in partnership relationships. So, therefore, the moment of the aspect, Venus square Mars, and especially the same time at the day of the full moon, the themes of the opposition of the axis, me and the others, this is the axis of the signs Libra and Aries, Aries, Libra, me and the others, will be particularly emphasized through situations of tension in the relations of partnership relationships. So this can be expressed by the exacerbation of conflicts in personal, professional, and social relationships, exchanges, as well as financial problems and crisis in the process of restitution and reception of material resources. We will need to revisit our problems of achieving compromise, our programs, of achieving compromise in partnerships, and our programs and the programs of achieving goals in the financial sphere. All right. Это на английском языке, это не на русском. Я не буду говорить на русском языке. So this is about the full moon. Nothing is dramatic. There is nothing dramatic. On the contrary, very tense energies. But don't forget that the Mercury is retrograde, so it causes problems, as it did for me now. God. All right. So March 24, Mercury, which is still retrograde, is in conjunction with Neptune in the 16 degrees of Pisces. And due to the retrograde phase of Mercury that lasts since the beginning of the month, and due to the beginning of its direct phase in the end of March, this aspect actually will be repeated 3 times, and it's too long, like 3 conjunctions with the Neptune within 2 months, 3 conjunctions of Mercury with the Neptune within 2 months, so it can be just like unbearable, you know. So the last time I spoke about the astrological phenomena, conjunction Mercury and Neptune, I spoke about the weakness of Mercury. Mercury is in Pisces in the sign of its exile and detriment, yes, and it's retrograde. And in addition, conjunction with the Neptune, which rules the sign that Mercury transits by. So in the context of increased intuitiveness and good imagination, there will be practical difficulties in the information space, forgetfulness, confusion in thoughts, encounter with the misinformation, and attempt at manipulation. I mean, you will be tempted to manipulate other people, and other people can also manipulate you. So it's not desirable to, it's not advisable, desirable to enter into important discussions, to set up, to sign important contracts, agreements, and make major, important decisions, especially regarding financial responsibilities during the conjunction Mercury-Neptune. March 26, Venus leaves Aquarius and enters Pisces. It will stay in Pisces until April 20. When Venus was in Aquarius, or in the manifestation of our feelings, we needed freedom, right? But with Venus in Pisces, we can show a sacrifice, capacity to sacrifice for a partner, for the partner in the relationship. So the energies of this transit reinforce romantic atmosphere, rêverie in French. We dream a lot, we are even naive, but the transit of Venus by Pisces also increases sensitivity. So the need for harmony, beauty, and peaceful solutions to problems in partnerships is growing. We won't be conflictual with Venus and Pisces. So the one day after, March 27, Venus will be in a sextile with Uranus. And these 2 planets just changed the signs. I mean, Venus entered Pisces, and Uranus is in Taurus, entered Taurus recently. So the aspect of the interaction is rather harmonious, the sextile, 60 degrees. And Uranus is not the most peaceful of the planets, because it's the symbol of revolution and unexpected sudden changes. But Uranus now is the dispositor of Venus, because Uranus is in Taurus and Venus rules Taurus. So the dispositor of Uranus, Venus, is in the sign where it is in the sign is in Pisces. But I mean that the dispositor of Uranus and Taurus, Venus, is in sextile with Uranus, okay? It's a very, of course, harmonious aspect. So we could create unusual ties, original, interesting encounters can occur. The need for something new, but new emotionally, can, however, lead to push us to establish rather risky contacts and ties, without particular consequences, both positive and negative, but still we can be very spontaneous in our with the people we date or we want to date, into new friendships. There is a chance to make a successful purchase these days, despite the stationary phase of Mercury, because Mercury will get direct on March 28. So at the moment of the sextile Venus-Uranus, Mercury will be stationary, okay? So the aspect of sextile Venus-Uranus coincides with the beginning of the direct phase of Mercury, which makes it possible to find an elegant solution to an old problem. So as I mentioned, March 28, Mercury gets direct in the 16th degree of Pisces, but we still have 1 week before us, 1 week. We have 1 week of Mercury retrograde. So it's not over yet. It's not the end. So we have to be careful. Like today, you see, it's crazy what's going on with my computer. I don't know. Couldn't access to it. Google Hangout. Okay, so Mercury is retrograde, I remind you, from March 5th. So it will be retrograde until March 28. It's like a marketing move, you know, from the universe, from the planetary hierarchy to grab our attention. So we will have the opportunity to go back, to look back, you know, to review our behavior, our way to communicate, reflect on our, you know, direction in life, maybe professional orientation, career orientation, to analyze our mistakes and get rid of all that is unimportant. So at this moment, 1 week more, it's better not to start new learning processes or new projects. We have rather to summarize the accumulated knowledge, and we can study the material already known or already acquired, but in a new way. May be difficult to work with information that contains specific data and numbers. It won't be neither easy, obvious, evident to transmit such data to others without distorting the data. I mean, during Mercury retrograde in Pisces. It's advisable to postpone the conclusion of major contracts and transactions, the launch of major projects, and the adoption of responsible decisions should be postponed until the end of the retrograde phase. I just remind you, you know all that perfectly well. March 31st, Mars enters Gemini. It will stay in the sun until May 16. This transit improves the practical and mental activities, of course, and information is spreading rapidly, fast, and the information is all very often the subject of discussion and disputes. But on the 2nd of April, Mercury being already direct, once again will form the conjunction with the Neptune in the 17th degree of Pisces. So we will be a couple of days before and after the exact aspect, I mean April 2nd, we will be in the orb of the conjunction Mercury Pisces. I mean that at the moment of the ingression of Mars in Gemini, Mercury will be already, like, you know, it will be the growing, the forming aspect of conjunction Mercury-Neptune. So we will be surrounded by rumors, gossips. We could be involved in a war of compromising materials because of the conjunction Mercury-Neptune, even though Mercury will be direct already. We may be involved in, you know, other verbal battles, fights, information fights, battles. But in any case, the number of visits, contacts, messages, letters, phone calls will be increasing during this aspect, and because of the ingression of Mars into Gemini. But in any case, my friends, the end of March, the last week of March and the beginning of April, it will be a good time for a more in-depth study of the subject that interests us, or subjects that interest us in plural, and for the completion of the projects that have been postponed, or the you know, projects that we didn't even start because we were waiting for the end of the retrograde phase of Mercury. So this conjunction that happens for the 3rd time since February, the conjunction Mercury-Neptune, but in this time Mercury will be direct. It can cause some imbalance in our mind and our head. Decisions may be ambiguous or unclear, and all this can be misleading. We have to be aware of deception and self-delusion. So people can deceive us, manipulate us, and we can also believe in our own illusions, so self-illusions, delusions. On the other hand, this aspect, conjunction Mercury-Neptune, reveals our creative imagination, which will easily find a way to express itself. Our perception will be refined. We can leave a lot of very interesting insights. we will be able to fully express ourselves, first of all, in art, poetry, or philosophy. And two more remarks, because I was destabilized with this technical problem. The upcoming 2 days, March 20, 21st, even 22nd, you know, 2 days after the full moon, 1 day before, 1 day after. Actually, the transit sun will form sextile, 60 degrees, to the point of the lunar eclipse on the axis of Aquarius that occurred on the 21st of January, remember? So this will be the moment when we can maybe the situations, if the situation provoked by the lunar eclipse of January 21st will come back into your life. You have the chance to come to a peaceful conclusion, to reconcile with maybe with the person or with the situation. But what happens next, in 2 weeks, I mean, the next lunar phase, the new moon in Aries on April 5th, and 2 more weeks later, the full moon in Libra, still in Libra, but in the very last degree of the sign, on April 19, you know, these 2 lunar phases, they will define the corridor of the midpoint of the eclipse. So we will arrive at the midpoint between the eclipses that we already lived in January 2019 and the future eclipses of July 2019, because during these 2 weeks between April 5th and April 19th, we will see the subjects of the previous and of the upcoming eclipses overlapping. So the situations provoked by the eclipses in January can come back, but in a conflictual form. I will talk about it the next time when I will have the perfect conditions, when my Google Hangouts will work and I will go live through the link that I planned. Okay, so I'm sorry for this. I was just destabilized. So, oh God, Jesus, yes, somebody here. I'm sorry. I don't like. I closed my computer 5 times. I don't know why I didn't see that there was no button go live. I don't understand. So I had to open another window. Yes, happy full moon to everybody. And the spring equinox, yes, I mentioned this in the beginning. Happy full moon. And this is the International Day of Astrology. So all those who are interested in astrology, those who study astrology and practice, right? So this is like a very interesting holiday, right? So I hope that the knowledge of this esoteric science helps you, and it will help you in the future, you know, with in your spiritual growth, in your spiritual quest. I am destabilized with this technical problem. I'm sorry. I like perfection, and I prepared the text and I couldn't connect. Well, at least 6 people. Belgrade. Belgrade. Snezhana, Raic. Belgrade. Yes. Ja nie govorim srpski. Hoću da govorim srpski kao ti. This is what I know in Serbian. I don't know Croatian or Serbian. So my friends, I think that I will stop here because I just shared with you the information. I cannot focus anymore. So I hope that, yes, you will make the good plans for the future, for the new year, new astronomical year. We are in the year now of the old, the previous universal cycle, because the sun is leaving Pisces and it enters the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. So happy birthday to all Aries once again. And I wish you all the best, and thank you for your presence in spite of, all that is happening. Mercury retrograde. Okay, 1 more week. So, yeah. I think I will stop here and have a nice rest of the week. And what is the day today? Wednesday. God, I don't even know what is the day today. So happy full moon, and in 10 days, March 30, there is a live streaming with the tarot cards reading tarot and Lenormand cards reading on Facebook, because I do it like in alternation, Facebook and YouTube. So those who have access to, if you use Facebook, you will find on my official page the event, tarot reading. Okay, so take care of yourself. See you in 2 weeks in the live streaming for the new moon. Goodbye. Thank you.